What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another match preview now. Have you recovered from the Manchester City game on Wednesday, man? That was such a difficult game to watch for an Arsenal fan. You wait 3 months to watch them play. They put in a performance like that, as Mikel Arteta said, everything that could go wrong went wrong and we got, hammered 3-0. But the good thing about football is you get a chance to bounce back, and a few days later now, so we're playing against Brighton this weekend in the Premier League, away from home again. And this will be a very different game to the game against Manchester City. In a way, I think we're almost under more pressure for this game because people expect Arsenal to beat Brighton. And if we play well, I think we will beat Brighton. But, we've seen Arsenal before, drop points and lose these kind of games. So how is this game going to go? I mean, it's going to be Brighton's first game back, of course, so they will be a little bit rusty having not played a Premier League game for so long. But on the flip side to that, Arsenal may be tired. They only played 3 days ago. They got ram ragged in that game. That will have taken a lot of energy out of them. I don't know if you've read all these reports saying that Arsenal's travel arrangements were really poor. They arrived at the ground at 5 o'clock on Wednesday. They were forced to eat their pre-match meals at the airport, and the players drove to the airports themselves. And for a football team of that level, you don't expect those kind of things. It sounded very disorganised. Apparently, the club, they arrived back at 3 o'clock in the morning, and the players trained early the next that same afternoon. So it sounds like it's been a hectic few days for Arsenal, and they need to answer the questions that are being asked of them. And for me, they need to be beating Brighton. Now, we don't have a great record against Brighton. Only one win in our last 4 games against them. We lost to them earlier in the season. Unai Emery was in charge for that game. It was a real bad night at the Emirates, and that was at the time when we were really having a wobble earlier in the season, although some would say we're still having a wobble. But let's hope Arteta can turn things around now. Brighton are only 2 points above the relegation zone, so let's not kid ourselves. Brighton are not a great team. I'm not saying they're not capable of beating Arsenal, because they are, but we need to be winning this now. How are we going to set up for this game? I thought Mikel Arteta got the team selection horrendously wrong against Manchester City. I know a lot of Arsenal fans blame David Luiz, and I understand that. I thought David Luiz had an absolute shocker in that game, and there's no doubt that his mistakes led to us losing that game. But the manager didn't set us up in the right way. It's almost as if he went there with damage limitation. Let me keep the score down. He didn't really seem to have belief that we were going to win that game or could win that game. Now, I know some people are saying if we go in 0-0 at half time, the plan's working. But Manchester City had 4 clear-cut chances in that first half. Arsenal didn't really have a clear-cut chance. So to me, we were doing nothing more than hanging on. The team I would like to see against Brighton, bear in mind there are injury problems. Leno in goal, who was superb against Manchester City, man of the match. Bellerin retains his place at right back. Tierney at right back, who I thought after Leno was probably Arsenal's best player against City. He looked solid against Mahrez, and I was impressed with him. Looks good on the ball as well. Centre back is going to be a problem. Pablo Mari, it's been announced today, will be out for the rest of the season. So that may, cause a problem whether Arsenal are going to sign him on a permanent or not. And we know David Luiz, of course, is suspended after his nightmare on Wednesday. So it may be Rob Holding. Socrates is still injured. Rob Holding is back. Zach Medley's on the bench, so they may have to put the young player straight in there if Holding isn't fit enough. But I think it'll be Holding and Mustafi. The 3 in midfield will probably be, I don't think Torreira's fit yet. Xhaka is injured, of course, for a couple of weeks with this ankle injury. I'd expect Guendouzi and Ceballos. I think Joe Willock will play as well. He was poor the other night. But, Arteta's saying that Mesut Ozil is not quite fit enough, so I don't see how he becomes fit again in 3 days. So I think he'll go with Willock, Guendouzi and Ceballos. The front 3 to me has to be Aubameyang, Lacazette and Pepe. Now again, I've said over and over again, I want Aubameyang through the middle. I would actually like to see Martinelli left, Pepe right, and Aubameyang through the middle. But it just seems as if Arteta does not want to do this. So if you're not going for that, go with Aubameyang on the left, Lacazette through the middle, Pepe on the right. That's the front three I want to see, and I think Brighton will struggle to cope with that. Let me know what you think. I'm going for Arsenal to win 3-1. I do think that Brighton are not great, and I'm really hoping that we see a performance, with a lot more spirit. Let's face it, Brighton are not Manchester City. Manchester City are an elite football team. Brighton will be hard working. I do think they rely on their fans a little bit, so they'll miss them. And I think Arsenal will win this game 3-1. Let me know what you think. Comment down below, what team would you pick, what formation? Would you play Mesut Ozil? Would you play Aubameyang through the middle? Should Martinelli start? Lots of questions that need answering. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'll be back with loads of content over the weekend. Let's hope Arsenal can bounce back with a win. Bless.